Hi everyone, and this is Chrissy from In the Stars by Chrissy.com, and this reading is for those who are in the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign, and this is your July 2019 Love Monthly Forecast reading. Okay, so again, like I say to each and every video, this is a general reading, so it may not tune in to each and every one of you guys. Okay, so before anything else, I'd like to mention that this is my second recording for cancers. Be- I had to redo the reading because I was feeling unsure if I was really tuning in to the reading or so. But when I laid out another set of cards, the reading is somehow similar in a way. So this is making me feel that either a lot of cancers are undergoing some form of transformation, some form of changes, or challenges, especially when it comes to the matters of the heart. Could also mean that, maybe I'm just tuning into a specific person right there who is having some form of crossroad issues when it comes to their love life. Okay, so the first card that you have here is the Death card, and this is a very transformational card, but it also represents some form of beginnings and endings. And sometimes this card pops up when a person is very depressed or they have experienced something quite traumatic, and something that suddenly created some form of change in their life. But I have to be honest with you guys, the death card usually comes up when uh, it's coming from a place of negative situation. So even though this is a possibility for new beginnings, and all that, um, I just like to mention the fact that, let us first get real on what's going on at this time. Of course, this is a card of some positive meanings as well. I just feel that a lot of cancers are in a place wherein it feels like life has sucked out of them, something like that. There is a sense of feeling drained, feeling like you're so tired of certain things, and maybe in a relationship setup, maybe you have stopped trying to do anything anymore, even though that the relationship is dying, you are so fed up, you don't want to bother yourself with it, those kinds of situation. What is crossing over this is the Seven of Rods, and the Seven of Rods is, like I always say, it has been popping up to a lot of signs, even though that I've been really shuffling really well. Anyways, it has been popping up. So this is really telling me that some form of action is going to be in place for many people out there. And for you, this Seven of Rods is representing a form of challenge. So it could be that there are changes that are already happening, but maybe you're not able to cope up with it, or some form of event has suddenly transpired, and it's probably something that you don't like or you're not ready for it, something that just happened out of the blue. And it could be a situation wherein you really cannot blame anyone why the relationship did not work out why things had happened the way that it did. With the Five of Swords here, this is more of something to do with your past, really. But it's like as if you're showing people you don't care, but in reality you do. This is also a point wherein maybe you have negative feelings over someone, or maybe you're blaming someone, you know? That is a possibility as well. You know, there is a possibility that you're not blaming anyone for what has happened, but at the same time, you are blaming someone as well. So, but um, with my experience in my readings, the Five of Swords always represents that you're looking back on something, but at the same time, you're trying not to look back on something. So it's like ego is part of the scenario right here. It could be that in this situation, I feel that this is a relationship that has ended or had some form of situation wherein very complicated and complex to deal with. The foundation here is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is telling me that it could be you're someone that um, likes the comfort zone, like to take things slow and all that. So when change suddenly enters the scene for you, you're very much caught off guard. This is also like maybe showing up as, the foundation is maybe someone very important to you. It could be a lover. I would not say a husband or a wife because the Knight of Pentacles is usually like a boyfriend or girlfriend, that kind of energy. So there is a focus right there on a specific person. So it could be that, you are having some form of struggles with a specific person in mind. And from the way that I'm seeing things here, it feels like anything can just happen. I feel that you need to let go of what has happened in the past, regardless of how difficult things have occurred, how unfair it has been, because anything can happen at this time. This is what the Eight of Rods is. And there's so much possibilities that are being open to you. And your near future card is a Page of Cups. So there is an element here of something good bound to happen for you. This is a card of a light-hearted communication and conversation with someone. And it's something that you really, really need to be aware and keep in mind, because if someone enters your life, whether they're from the past or someone new, I feel that it's very important to keep things light. Keep things light and, a lot more joyful. And try not to be very much pessimistic with certain things, because I feel that, quite a lot of you guys can be very much saying things based on their emotional triggers. And it can be something that not everyone will be pleased about. It could be that you're expressing too much of your feelings as well. So be careful of that. I mean, that is good and healthy, but I feel that this is the time we're in when you are building relationships, or when you are wanting to connect the dots, or wanting to connect with a person. It's very important that you don't give off this energy of feeling dragging, a very negative type of scenario. So I know that that is pretty much, something obvious that everyone should be knowing, but it is a good reminder to keep in mind. So yeah, your card is the Page of Pentacles. So it could be that you are going to message someone, or you are going to be receiving some form of message. You are going to learn something from it. It could be that a heart-to-heart conversation could be coming into play here. It could be that, you had some problems with a past lover, a past relationship, and something will happen that will connect the two of you, to communicate and maybe see things that you guys did not see before. It's about understanding one another and clearing out misunderstandings that have gone on in the recent past or in the past few months, at least, because the external factors involved here is the Eight of Pentacles, and this is, a card of hard work. So it could mean that that person is going to be willing to make an effort to connect with you, to reach out to you, to at least work out the relationship again. Regardless, it is, making something work. It is a card wherein it is a work in progress. They are working on something, and it is most likely related to their situation with you. Your hopes and fears is the Queen of Swords. So, and this is always coming in as a fear card, that things are not gonna work out. The Queen of Swords itself is a good card, but in a love reading, just like this is representing more on the things that you don't want, things that are not pleasing you. So try to be more positive at the very least, but at the same time, learn from the lessons that you have experienced already. Because from this reading, for some of you guys, it is something that you have already experienced. Even though that you are still feeling the disappointments and all that, you have already experienced something, and it's all really in the past. So this is a time for you to move forward, pick up yourself, and fix things, communicate it. The outcome card that you have is the King of Pentacles, and this is always, giving a good omen of some kind. This is like, having a person in your life, giving you much support, really sweeping you off your feet, or having that very important person in your life really coming into your life, that sort of scenario. It is someone that will offer you things, giving you some form of security. That is one thing that you need to keep in mind. So it is a good reading. I just feel that even though that there are good things that are going to be happening for Cancers, the struggle really is more of, how can I see things in a more positive light? That kind of thing. Also, I feel that this reading is having to do with, past issues, because in my playing cards, we do have the Six of Spade and the Ten of Spade, in between the Five of Hearts, and this is really about solving situations. There are things that are not completely over yet, and you need to, have a final outcome or situation to that. something is not very uh, there is no conclusion over a certain situation yet, and the month of July should lead you to a point wherein you need to make an effort to find the truth of a certain situation. And sometimes it does not have to be so hostile. So, yeah, I do see that this is about rebuilding something. Rebuilding something. And again, the situation card that you have is a death card. And it's not always telling us about ending, especially with how the near future is coming up and the outcome card. This is not about an ending, but this is about a uh, previous situation that did not turn out the way that is very much pleasing, and it is a moment of rebuilding the relationship, that kind of situation. What it takes to make the relationship um, work out. Just remember that. So compromise, understand, and be willing to meet things halfway with that person, especially if they are initiating things with you again. And for other people, if they are not doing any effort with you guys, this would just mean that you just may need to give them some time if they are meant to be with you, because there is also a possibility that this may be a time wherein you just need to go out. Maybe it's time for you to move on and find someone new, or at the very least to set aside the feelings you had with that person, or see things on, are they treating you right or not. You need to understand this and to tell yourself if this is really what you want to still come into your life. If they're not treating you right, do you still want that? Those kinds of things. But yeah, I'm just giving another example in case that it is not something for you. But ultimately, the point and message of this reading is to have some form of compassion and don't overreact, and be willing to make an effort to resolve things, because that is just what will make things turn in a very positive manner and outcome for a lot of you guys. So, yeah, this is your reading for the sign of Cancer. I hope that this has had make sense, that it has resonated with some of you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys again next month.